Welcome once again to SoCo Chat, a podcast where we hear directly from county leaders, discuss the latest news, and talk about all things concerning our beautiful corner of California known as Sonoma County.
Welcome to SoCo Chat. I'm your host, Matt Brown, Deputy Communications Manager for the County of Sonoma. Thank you for joining us. If you've ever had trouble getting to a county office or even figuring out what services are available, you're not alone. The county knows these are real barriers, and it has been working on solutions to make safety net services more accessible to everyone, regardless of where they live. Today, we're talking about a new way Sonoma County is bringing essential services directly into neighborhoods, literally on wheels. It's called Open Doors Mobile Services, and it's being rolled out this week. Joining us today is Angela Struckmann, Director of the Sonoma County Human Services Department, who's helping lead this effort. Angela, welcome back to SoCo Chat. It's so good to have you back.
Thanks. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. So this is an exciting project. Start off, tell us a little bit about Open Doors Mobile Services. What is it and what problem is it trying to solve here in Sonoma County?
Sure. Open Doors Mobile Services are vans. That we have two vans, and we're planning to hit the road in Sonoma County to help the community learn about our services and then help people get connected to services. It's a different way for us to really get out there and reach the people that we want to serve. And so there'll be two vans. One is with the Human Services Department, and one is with primarily the Health Services Department and Child Support. And again, those vans are going to be getting on the road and getting out to the community so that we can get our services to everyone who needs them.
Yeah. Well, I know you've worked in this field in social services and in the human services departments for a long time. What have you seen in this type of work that led to the need for this type of effort?
There are a lot of challenges in the community, especially more recently. With the cost of living going up, transportation is expensive, and so we want to make it easier for people to access our services without having to, travel far to get to us. So that's one of the things I think is a current challenge. The other thing is our population is aging quickly, and a lot of older adults in our community have a hard time with transportation, and so this is another way to reach that community, again, that's making up a larger and larger percentage of our population, and so we can get out there and kind of eliminate that transportation barrier for folks. And then another thing I would say is the challenges faced by our immigrant communities. There's a lot of fear out there right now, and so by getting out into the community and meeting people where they're at, it hopefully alleviates some of the stress of coming into a government office to receive services. So those are kind of some of the key areas I see have really changed in the recent past, and we're hoping to address those barriers.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit how this actually works, right? So you're using these vans basically as mobile offices. They can come out into the communities that are, have transportation challenges or are remote and don't have a county office nearby. What kind of services will people be able to access in these vans, and how will clients know where the vans are?
So primarily the vans are meant to deliver safety net services. Again, that would be often the health department, human services department, and child support. For human services, primarily the services that we'll be bringing out on the vans would be our economic assistance programs, and that would be Medi-Cal and CalFresh. Those are the most often used services in our community and accessed services. We serve about 1 in 4 or 1 in 3 folks in human services, often through those economic assistance programs. So those will be some of the key programs that we're offering through human services. We also will be expecting to bring out veteran services, services for older adults and people with disabilities, maybe some employment services. So from the human services end, those will be the programs that we're mainly bringing out on the vans. For health services, there will be services including connection to behavioral health and public health services, potentially some nutrition information, homelessness resources, so any number of services that are provided by the health department. And then for child support, it will be primarily connecting people with child support services or access to information on their current child support case.
And so are they driving around like an ice cream truck with a little jingle going off so people know where they are? Or how will people actually know where these vans are located?
We have a schedule published on our website, opendoorsSC.com. And if you click on there and you go to mobile services, you'll see a current schedule of where the van's going to be. So far, we just have the schedule for our human services programs, and we're starting slow. So we're going to get out into the community about once a week, primarily with the Medi-Cal and CalFresh programs. And we're targeting areas of the county that don't have a brick and mortar county office. So that starting off will be in the Cloverdale area, in Healdsburg, and in Windsor. We're also thinking about maybe some spots along the coast because, again, those are areas that don't have a county office located in the area. And so starting off slow and then really building depending on what the need is in the community. And we have yet to publish a schedule for the health services and child support services that will be going out, but that will be on the website soon. So anybody looking to get out and catch the van, they can go look at that opendoorsSC.com and see what the schedule is.
Great, good. Well, tell me logistically how these vans function as offices. Can you describe the vans a little bit, what it looks like inside, and how they can actually serve as an office?
Yeah, so the vans are set up as private offices. They have a desk and a computer for a staff person. They have an area for an individual or family to come in and get services in a confidential space. We have it set up with Wi-Fi so that we can use that both for the employees and for the visitors. We can access all county systems. So if it's the eligibility system or other systems that we need to tap into for our programs, we can access all of that in the van. So someone can basically get full service for any of the programs that they are searching for because we have connectivity to the entire county system. And again, it'll be a private space where we can speak with people about their needs and get them connected to the services that they most are looking for. And then outside, we'll also have tables and shaded area and space for people to be waiting outside or to be served outside as well. So that will expand our space to be able to serve people both inside and outside of the van. And then, potentially have other areas there set up just, again, to serve as many people as possible. The vans hold about 6 staff. And so we'll have plenty of people there to be able to sit down and work with people to assess what they need.
So they can essentially perform all the services that you could get in an office. If you walked into a county office, you would go through the same sort of system or the same routine as you would in an office in the vans, right?
Yep, we should be able to do intake for programs. We should be able to give information on if somebody's already in services, sort of what are the updates or what is the status of their case. Another great thing that we'll have in the van that's primarily used by Human Services is an EBT machine, which is the machine that prints out the little EBT cards for CalFresh benefits or CalWorks cash aid benefits. So people can get their card right there on the spot, and that doesn't make them come into an office to go get their EBT cards. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the target populations for this: elderly, certainly, who are transportation challenged, other people that live remote or rural in rural areas. Tell me more about this, about who you're trying to reach with these vans, and what are some of the biggest needs right now in Sonoma County?
Yeah, again, trying to reach folks who have transportation as a barrier, which is a large, group in our community, whether it's older adults or people with disabilities, folks that are lower income that may have to take 2 or 3 buses with their children to get to an office, really wanting to get out there and save people that transportation barrier so that they can access our services better. Again, getting out to the immigrant communities who may be reluctant to come into a county office at this point. And really just anybody who, is better served in their own community. Another thing we're thinking of doing is joining events that are happening, festivals, neighborhood parties, that kind of thing, where people are already gathering and they don't have to make an extra stop outside of where they might normally be with their families, so that it's convenient for everybody to really access the services and learn about what we have to offer.
Yeah. Well, what about language access? Sometimes that's a barrier. Is there any thought on making this accessible to, say, Spanish speakers?
We will definitely have Spanish-speaking staff on the van, so that will always be an option for folks to speak with an employee in Spanish. And then outside of that, we have access to other languages that we can use over the phone or do things like that. If somebody comes for assistance and they need a different language, we can, access an interpreter over the phone to serve people with other languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, paint me a picture of a family who may benefit from this service, and how will this benefit them?
Sure. So maybe a family who is looking for, again, maybe medical coverage or some extra money for food. They would be able to come to the van, take a look online, see where we're going to be, show up to the van, get signed up for CalFresh, Medi-Cal. Maybe it's a family who needs cash aid and employment assistance, so they could come and get set up with that. Maybe they've applied for services and they just want to know the status and do we need any additional verification? They could drop that off for us. Any number of services. Maybe they're looking for some public health services and they can show up when the public health folks will be on their van. Or maybe they're, they have a child support case and they want to get status on that case or need to bring in additional documentation. They'd be able to drop it off there. And again, that saves that family from traveling, especially with young children, on a bus or traveling far to an office, having to wait in a crowded room, for services for maybe a long period of time. I see that this is a more sort of intimate setting with not as many folks, not as big of a waiting room, and hopefully quicker service than having to come all the way to an office and wait.
Yeah, it could really make the difference between getting services or just not getting services.
For sure, yes. We definitely want to break down the barriers and also just get the education out there. We're often finding that not everybody in the community knows about the range of services that we have. And so besides getting people connected to the services, even just letting people know what we have to offer will be a big benefit of the vans.
Yeah, so education right there. That's great.
Yes.
Let's talk about the partnerships that you've developed. You've developed great partnerships with community organizations, including La Familia Sana, Corazon Hildesberg. Tell us about these partnerships and why they're so important.
So these are some of our partners that we've worked with for a long time, and we value being their partners. We can't do it alone. For the vans, we really wanted to find community organizations where we could take the van and be located with them on the same site, because they are trusted partners in the community. So oftentimes, again, if there are communities that are a little more wary of accessing government services, they may have a stronger relationship with their community partner organizations. And so by going and co-locating there, I think that sometimes breaks down some of those barriers for folks so that we can work with a trusted partner and deliver services together. Another benefit of it is that we will be able to access the resources of the organization at the same time. So maybe clients could use both services at the same time, just have a location with restrooms and things like that, so that we can partner with our community organizations to sort of make everything comfortable and have enough space for folks that come to visit the vans. And, always strengthening partnerships is a benefit and a goal of ours. So just the more we work together with our community organizations, the stronger we all are.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit more about the immigrant population that you're trying to target here. I know that they have a lot of fear, as you mentioned, in the community about accessing government services. How will this help provide services to this community?
We're hoping by going into people's community and not forcing them to travel outside of the community where they're comfortable and safe within their own community, we're hoping that that will alleviate a little bit of the fear. And again, partnering with trusted community organizations, hoping that that will also make people a little more comfortable in seeking services. Bringing, again, staff that speak Spanish out into the community. We're hoping that that will be supportive to the immigrant community. And just really allowing people to feel like they're not in a location at a county building that may be a target. We want to keep this sort of out of the spotlight and help people feel that they're safe coming to us. And I hope that by coming out sort of with a smaller footprint with a trusted community partner will be helpful for that.
Yeah. Big picture question. How does this fit into the county's 5-year strategic plan and also the broader Open Doors initiative that you've been on our podcast before discussing? How does this all fit together?
So this directly came from one of the goals in the county strategic plan to provide neighborhood services. And that started with creating some satellite offices throughout the community. And that was the one in the Sonoma Valley and then the one in Guerneville. And we've had a long-standing satellite office in Petaluma. And then building on that to even further provide neighborhood services, we were able to buy the vans with generous financial support from the Board of Supervisors. And so that builds on that neighborhood service delivery model that is outlined in the strategic plan. And hopefully with the vans, we will be able to, again, reach communities that aren't quite serviced by the brick and mortar locations that we already have. And we'll be able to get out into every corner of the community with our vans and make sure that neighborhood services are truly available for everybody.
How will you measure success of this initiative? And if it is successful, are there expansion plans?
Hopefully we will be able to analyze as we go how many people are coming to the locations, which locations are the easiest for people to get to and the most utilized, which programs are people most looking for, so that we can decide how to staff the van based on the programs that are most needed in what areas of the community. If we find that maybe going out once a week is not adequate to serve everybody that's showing up to the vans, we could add some additional locations and additional days. So it'll really be just, recording how many folks are coming, what programs are they looking for, are we able to help them to the extent that they don't then have to come into an office, and just really then taking a look at that data to make sure that we are responding to the needs of the community in the way that will serve everybody in the areas that we need to reach.
If someone feels they could benefit from this program or wants to learn more, where can they go for more information?
Definitely to the opendoorsSC.com. Again, there's a tab for mobile services. They'll be able to see where the van is at and actually which services will be provided on the van at that day and time. So if they're looking for a specific program, they want to take a look at the date, the location, and then what services will be offered in the van on that day. I believe they can also go to a help location on the website to be able to write into us to maybe, make some suggestions of where they could be best served by the vans, or they can always reach out to our county number at the HSD office to request the vans and the services in different areas. And we will do our very best to continue to build out that schedule and accommodate the needs of the community.
And we're launching this week.
Yes, we are launching this week. We will be doing a gold resolution at the Board of Supervisors tomorrow and having a ribbon cutting by the board. And then at a future date, hopefully soon, we'll be having a sort of a community open house where the community and community organizations can come and take a look inside the vans, see what to expect. And then we'll be hitting the road on the 21st of this month for our first visit up in Cloverdale. And if you go on the website, you'll see the 2 locations that we'll be at in Cloverdale, and then we'll be going on from there. So I'm really excited to be hitting the road finally and getting out into the community.
So these Open Doors mobile services vans are coming to a community near you.
Yes, they are, very soon.
That's great. Well, we look forward to seeing them out in the community. And thank you so much for what you do and to help launch these vans and everything that you do in the community. That's great.
Thanks so much. We look forward to seeing everyone out there.
Yeah, and thanks for being here on SoCo Chat. I know you've got a mug from your last visit, but if you'd like to take any other piece of swag, a water bottle, a hat, or anything else you'd like as a thank you for being here on our show, we'd love to let you take it.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thanks again, Angela. And to our listeners, if you have comments about this episode or have a suggestion for a future SoCo Chat discussion, please shoot us an email at publicaffairs@sonomacounty.gov. And thank you all, and we hope you continue to follow SoCo Chat on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube. See you next time. Thanks again, Angela.
Thank you.